The YouTube landscape went from being a place where individuals could express themselves freely and creatively to a website where everyone is at each other's necks, trying to make the quickest buck they can. However, the creativity isn't all gone. Once in a blue moon, we see creators attempt and succeed at things that no one had ever even tried before. It sets a level of expectations and possibilities unmatched. Though not too long after, we see everyone copy that idea and rob it of the heart that made it so pure and enjoyable. But in this sea of copycats, there remains one contender for an idea so bold that no one would dare try and replicate it. On November 14th, 2020, with 1.5 million people watching, something happened which has never occurred in YouTube history. A channel was deleted live. You heard me, deleted. It wasn't taken down or removed. In fact, it accomplished its mission. A year-long project ended and 365 videos with over 867 million collective views were deleted in an instant, only to be remembered by those who were there to experience it. As it happened, the creators only had 4 words to share with the audience: Memento Mori, Unus Annus. For those unaware, Unus Annus was a channel made in collaboration between Ethan Nestor, Mark Fishbach, and Amy Nelson. The intention was to upload high-quality live-action content that was above 10 minutes in length and extensively edited daily. What's more is that there was no fear of age restriction or demonetization, so any and all ideas were taken into consideration, and some of the most unheard and unseen acts took place on that channel. All of this was heading towards one simple goal that was defined from the very first video. The channel and everything on it was to be expunged from the internet in exactly 1 year's time from its launch. And that's exactly what came to be. It was a project unlike any other. It wasn't even meant to be immensely successful, though the opposite was the fate intended as the internet grappled onto an idea this daring and unique. It was #1 on trending the day the announcement video was posted, on November 14th, 2019, and a mere 7 days later, the channel had already surpassed 1 million subscribers. So, in commemoration of its 2nd year death anniversary, I'd like to discuss a few important lessons imparted by Unus Annus. Most of you know what I'm talking about, and therefore don't need any further explanation. Some of you may understand what I mean, but fail to realize the reasoning for it. To that, I have this to say.
Where we uploaded a at least 10-minute live action video every day for 365 days, and at the end of that year, we deleted the channel live. And it's gone. And it is now gone. That might be the most profound thing I ever make in my life. That's what we like to say whenever someone's like, ooh, what's Unus Annus? You had to be there.
You had to be there.
And it's a fascinating commentary on both humanity and self. I don't think a wave has been paved like this, or we've seen anything this innovative on YouTube in so long. This is the coolest thing to me. But he said, I firmly believe that the entirety of what something is cannot be truly appreciated until it ends. And he's so right.
Like, the whole project, I think, was something truly interesting and fascinating. They really did follow through on everything, and I think it's all the more special because of it. So I just wanted to talk about this because I really think the Unus Annus experiment was something really, truly unique.
Why would someone put all that effort into something they were just going to get rid of? They were just going to throw away. And I said, it'll make sense when it ends.
All jokes aside though, I do imagine it'll be hard for anyone who found out about this channel after its demise to fully connect with it the same way the community did. To keep it brief, the channel theme, name, and slogan all refer to death and the inevitability of it. After all, Unus Annus is just Latin for 1 year, while Memento Mori is Latin for remembered death. The art depicted of the channel is often paired with an hourglass representing time ticking away in fragments of sand, while the black and white spiral is synonymous of Unus and Annus themselves. 2 halves of one whole, incomplete without each other yet meant to die all the same. With this Latin-esque theme and cult-like formality already presented, what was the type of content these 2 gaming YouTubers were posting? Well, The very second upload set the tone for all that was to come, cooking with sex toys.
Alright, now we get to mixing. Why use a whisk or a fork or anything when you could use a mixer? A hand mixer.
Yeah.
So you want to start off slow.
Yup, at the end of the day, it was just these two goofballs having fun, being themselves, or rather Unus and Annus, and just trying out new things. Now, while the premise of each video was mostly lighthearted, the constant reminder of death never subsided, as the intro and outro of every upload always contained a timer ticking away until the channel's deletion, with the chant of Unus Annus ever present in the background, never letting us forget that there was only 1 year. That is just the first and main message of the channel. It's nothing revolutionary, but something often forgotten as we let all our days pass by as we watch unknowingly. The only difference between Unus Annus and our own lives is the channel had a set date and time of expiry. We knew when it was going to end, but it was always inevitable. The same is true for any other channel on YouTube, the creator that leads it, and even us. Death holds more power than we often let it. And that brings me to you might have noticed that I've referred to Ethan and Mark as Unus and Annus thus far into the video. That is because Unus Annus isn't just the name of the channel, but rather the shared name of its hosts. Confused? In attempts to further the message of death, Mark and Ethan created two characters specific to the channel, Unus and Annus. Ethan played the role of Unus, the character who represented the black of the spiral, and Mark played the role of Annus, the character who represented the white part. If you're familiar with their channels, you would know that creating a character for a bit isn't new for either of these YouTubers. Markiplier's best known egos are Darkiplier and Wilford Wolfstache. For Crank Gameplays, his alternate would be Blank Gameplays, who first appeared in an episode of Reading Your Comments. What made Unus and Annus different from their contemporaries was the fact that they were characters made with an end goal in mind. Unus and Annus were a part of Ethan and Mark that died along with their channel, literally and figuratively. It's been proven time and time again that Unus and Ethan and Annus and Mark are different entities on the channel. In one video from the mini-series of Camp Unus Annus, How to Start a Fire, except don't, Unus can be seen looking in on Mark about to kill Ethan to sacrifice him in order to make a fire. And in the Halloween video, The Truth of Unus Annus, there's an entire skit that only further proves that these are characters, not just Ethan and Mark. They acknowledge that they've swapped places in every single video leading up to the end of the livestream, lamenting about how they'll soon be dead. They also spent their final 2 weeks on the channel reflecting on their own mortality and the year that they shared.
It never ceases to amaze us, the kinds of things that people make, the lengths that people will go to give us a little part of themselves. And I think that that's important to remember. Whenever someone creates, they're putting a piece of themselves into the universe, into what they have made. They're putting what's inside them out into the world. When we ask for your time to watch the videos and be with us here at the end of the live stream, you're giving a piece of your life to us. And this year, in return, we gave a year of our life to you. And that's not an exaggeration. Ethan and I and all the people that worked on this channel, we gave a year of our life to you, willingly. Whether you took it or not, or whether you were here the whole time, that was a year of our life. We don't have an unlimited number of those, but we did it gladly. We gave a piece of ourselves, and we put it out there, and we are ending it.
At the end of the day, call them whatever you'd like and make as many theories as your heart's desire. But the fact of the matter is that Unus and Annus don't operate like any other ego seen up till now. Hell, I'll go as far as to state that they aren't even egos, rather something completely different. They are personas, yes, but in all honesty, they're just a representation of the time that Ethan and Mark spent on this channel and all that they did along the way. The things that they learned, the people they met, the memories they shared, the bonds they made. That's what Unus and Annus are. And just like any piece of us, the time they had in that era had to come to an end. Let me put it like this. Let's say you're in a period of your life that you know from the get-go is brief. For this example, I'll be using the end of high school before you leave for university. Things could be either going great, good, or horribly altogether. Regardless, you're able to make meaningful memories along the way, but you know it's going to come to an end. You're not entirely sure what is to come after, but whatever it is, it'll be soon. The anxiety, stress, irresponsibility, happiness, angst of it all. You don't know what'll happen to it, but you know it'll never be the same. In those last few moments, would you only worry about what isn't yet defined, what isn't solidified in concrete? Or will you try and make the best of whatever it is that's left? Enjoy it for what it is rather than all the should-haves and would-haves. You could fight it, sure. You could try and convince yourself that it'll never change. Truth is though, it will, whether you like it or not. That's what Unus Annus was. A period of time. And that's what the fans did. Deny it could ever end. As the year drew nearer to a close, the theorist side of Unus Annus started to get more frantic. You see, viewers had found hidden codes in various forms throughout a lot of the videos. Sometimes these codes would refer to more mundane things such as future video ideas, but other times it hint at a greater power of some kind, trying to seemingly reverse the clock and save all that there was from extinction. People clung on to this. There were Reddit threads, Twitter posts, and Discord channels all working tirelessly to find a way to decode all these encryptions. These acts got so much attention that a game theory would be released on the subject as well, where MatPat got the closest to tying all the loose threads together. Thing is, everything lined up with what was presented, and it was obvious that there were entities outside of the channel trying to save it. However, not only was it confirmed by Mark and Ethan during their goodbye livestream that all of it was just good fun put in by the editor's behalf, but even if Mark and Ethan had been the ones to plan this wild goose chase, it wouldn't have mattered in the end anyway. That's the gist of this lesson, and it's about how sometimes there just isn't a deeper reason for things. Even this video could be taken that way, analyzing a whole lot of a dead channel that has already conveyed to its audience what its core messages were. The entire team and the outside world could have attempted to reverse time itself, but some things are just meant to happen, and bargaining won't do anything except rob you of the time you could have spent enjoying whatever is left. In fact, much like Unus Annus, you could spend the end of your days aiming for a certain goal, like how they did with producing the best possible content, but life can step in at any point, and that is unfair.
A growing list of countries are evacuating their citizens from Wuhan, the center of China's coronavirus outbreak.
Coronavirus is...
I couldn't just bring up a YouTube channel that had the majority of its runtime in 2020 and not bring up the pandemic. This, of course, greatly impacted the type of ideas that Unus and Annus could try out, since they, like all other entertainers, were confined to their separate homes for a period of 3 months. Even longer for some. While they did improvise and did what they could to keep the spirits up, it is no secret that a lot of potential plans and videos never came to be that could have provided us with even greater memories and greater laughs. Truth is, though no one could have ever seen this coming, it only benefited the message that Mark and Ethan set out to spread. They had openly discussed how the pandemic was a hindrance to not only them but the entire world, but recalled back to it with the same amount of joy present in any other video, simply because they knew that they overcame those hurdles all the same. Things had to change in order for them to do so, and they couldn't accomplish a few things here and there. But that's life. If not for COVID, these issues could have very well come about in any other way. But that doesn't mean you only lament about what went wrong and allow yourself to spiral so far deep into regret that you fail to see all that you accomplished along the way. This last lesson was never intended, but relevant all the same.
That's what we've been saying since the beginning, is choose to spend your time wisely and don't take any second for granted, because whether you like it or not, it's going to be taken from you.
Yeah.
You do not have a choice. That is just life. There is no push reset on Unus Annus. There is no push reset on life.
Yeah.
You have to make every second worth it.
As I bring this video and all the points I discussed in it to a close, I believe everything I've spoken about today can be encompassed into something much simpler. If you've stayed for this long, you might as well spend a few more minutes, eh? Do you enjoy the time that you have left? With anything really? Or do you spend every waking second as the clock ticks down agonizing about what you'll do once it's over? I'm sure many people get hung up on the what's and how's, and I know that I certainly have as well. But there comes a point where you can't waste time being afraid of what you're going to do after. You need to keep living up until it happens and then decide what you're going to do afterwards. And it's hard. Not everyone can do that. And the channel being deleted and ending is a far less serious situation, of course, but it rings true experience-wise. You're having fun enjoying the time you have, or maybe wallowing in misery, but the clock is only ticking louder and louder the closer it gets to hitting 0, and it will all end all the same. And it's very easy to use the remaining time worrying and being upset than it is to use it making more good memories to have after it's over. And it's scary, yes, but no amount of fear is going to slow the clock down or stop it from ticking. So do you spend your time being happy, or do you spend your time being afraid? And for any one of you watching this video that have been doing the latter, it's alright. When Unus Annus first began, I couldn't comprehend the message itself. I didn't get what it was actually trying to accomplish. I was a viewer of all the videos, but I still let them pass by without actually enjoying them when I had them. And it's only now, 2 years later, that I'm beginning to realize how impactful it really was in my life, without me ever even realizing it. Truth is, I had no clue who I was at that time, and I still don't. The only difference is that I'm okay with it now. I don't want to spend my time worrying about things that don't affect me in the present, and neither should you. The re-uploading of these videos could be taken the same way. Sure, if you look hard enough, you can find archives of these Unus Annus videos, and you can watch them all the same, but you'll know deep down it's in the past. It doesn't matter if you found out after the channel had been deleted or had been there from the start. The message is still the same. The idea is dead. And clinging on to those videos is the entire point of why you shouldn't. If you've enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing and leaving a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this video in particular, since it's a lot more philosophical in nature as well. And that's the type of direction I would like to go in the future. Until next time though, this has been Vexodus, and see ya.
What I'm talking about is our videos, our stuff. If you've made something or you have a screenshot, like, I get it, accept it. I encourage people to embrace the message of Unus Annus and deleting things and letting things go, because letting things go is important. But we are the ones that are dying. And just remember, guys, like, you can still make stuff about Unus Annus after Unus Annus is over. It's not bad for you to do so. Remember it. It exists only in your memory after this channel ends, but it exists there. And you keep it going. You keep the light alive. And just because we're gone doesn't mean that you have to forget about it.